Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple N Talk Show. I am Dr. NIKAM, and this is coming to you live on YouTube and also Google Plus on our channels NIKAM. While we are talking about YouTube, we would also like you to download our app for Android and Apple devices, which will give you all the links to YouTube, Google Plus, and Facebook pages. And while you are on YouTube, please do subscribe to our channel so we can keep you abreast of what or our latest videos. We would also like you to visit our Facebook page, which is a NIKAM Network, and like our page so we can keep you abreast of what's happening in and around the Houston area and from around the world. And our YouTube channel, NIKAM, has more than 800 videos accenting our life from the United States. So we would like you to please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Well, today we're going to be talking about cricket. Boy, this was one of the most nerve-wracking afternoons, I will have to say. And my special guest is Amit Godbol. Amit,
Good to see you again.
good to see you again. I thought they already lost it.
For most people, in fact, people at Chinnaswamy Stadium, they were watching it. Most of the people started leaving the stadium.
The most fascinating thing is, even after the last ball was bowled, the crowd was dead silent because nobody knew what actually happened in that field. You're like 90 meters away from the center of the game.
So forget about 90 meters away.
Yeah.
I remember even Yuvraj when he approached Dhoni.
Yeah.
And he was asking, well, what happened? Dhoni said, well, we'll have to wait for the third umpire, but I think we got him. We got him. If you looked at the expressions on the other end of the wicket, Hardik Pandya, Yuvraj Singh, and everybody was there. Everybody was very much, they were asking Dhoni, out hua nahi hua? And his response was, let's just wait for the third umpire. But he knew that because he's the one who he ran him out. Nick, I have seen so many chases. This is probably one of the best I have come across.
This is going down the T20 history as one of the finest
finishes.
In 3 balls. You getting out 3 people when you're left only 4 runs to score. I mean, this is totally unheard of.
This is one of those wins that I can say India snatched it out of Bangladesh's mouth.
Almost.
In every department, Bangladesh excelled. The captaincy was on the mark. I thought Musharfe was on the money today. It came to his captaincy, his fielding, his bowlers supported him well, his batters supported him well. And it just came down to the last delivery where whoever held their nerves was the winner at the end of the day.
The last delivery, he just nicked it. I don't think it was straight cash to Dhoni. It was a bounce.
It was a bounce. And they had to run. They had to run. Obviously, they had to run.
So he was already he had made up his mind to run no matter what.
Even if he didn't make up his mind, Nick, at that point, as Bangladesh, you would want to take that run because then you can go into the super over, right?
That's right, yeah.
So regardless of whether he nicked it or not, he had to run.
That's right, yeah.
And smart thing Mahendra Singh Dhoni did today is he took his right glove
off.
because he was prepared to throw the ball. Now, another interesting thing that Dhoni did today, and I'm sure you also watched it, that he did not throw the ball.
He just
ran with it because there was a chance that he would have missed it. He would have missed it. This is by far the most exciting matches I have seen.
That's why I told you the crowd was dead silent even after the last ball because nobody had any idea until you saw the replay that he was actually out.
People in Bangalore love their cricket. Let me put it this way. They are diehard cricket fans. I'm not saying people in the other parts of the country are not, but especially in Bangalore, they love their cricket. They love their local stars. And so it was a treat to watch. And I'm sure we'll break it down and we'll talk about the coming matches as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching a Triple N Talk Show. This is coming to you from Houston, Texas, which is about 8,000 miles from Bangalore, India, and I'm also from Bangalore.
That's right,
Bangalore.
Well, back in your days, it was Bangalore. But now, if I were to say Bangalore, I get those eyebrows lifted. I say, it's Bangalore now. It's no more Bangalore.
Well, I don't care, because
so it's like Bombay or Mumbai, right?
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about cricket. So I mean, you're absolutely right. Bangladesh were very, very strong on the field.
In every department.
Bowling,
in every department.
yeah, they kept the Indian batsmen from not
Nick,
being able
from
to
the ball
score.
one, from the ball one, the
Yeah.
fielding placement, the areas in which the bowlers bowled,
Yeah,
the areas they were targeting individual batsmen. For example, Rohit Sharma, they had done their homework as to where to attack him. Shikhar Dhawan, Virat Kohli. The Bangladeshi bowlers squeezed the life out of Indian batsmen. It was very
you
evident.
see, the Indian fielders did catch very important catches, but they
the
also
fielding was very
dropped
good.
couple of very
Now,
crucial catches.
I sort of felt bad for Bumrah because
I know.
the first ball he
Yeah.
misfielded, so that
Yeah.
was a 4, and in the second instance, Ashwin's delivery, he missed that catch
Yeah,
again of Tamim Iqbal. So already he was down, but Bumrah made it up towards the later
Yeah.
half of the innings. The second to the last over that he bowled towards the death overs, I thought Bumrah and Nehra and Pandya, they bowled a brilliant spell, keeping Bangladesh in check. And in last 3 deliveries, taking those 3 crucial wickets was the icing on the cake.
see, the other interesting thing I saw was with the Bangladesh batsmen getting back like I'm batsman number 6, 7, or 8.
No.
I mean, they were all playing confidently.
Bangladesh batting is deep. When I
Up
say
to-
deep,
up to
meaning
7 or
they
8,
bat
they say.
very deep, starting from Tamim Iqbal to Mithun Ali.
Yeah.
Then Shakib Ul Hasan, he's an all-rounder. He's one of the better batsmen in Bangladesh. We can Soumya Sarkar, Mohammedullah, Mushfiqur Rahim, even Shabir. I forgot to mention Shabir in that lineup. It's a great batting lineup.
Sometimes I'm always skeptical when you're playing a team coming from behind.
Right.
You never know what to expect, but Bangladesh has consistently proven that they can perform.
They have been proving it, and I think this is probably their best team they have fielded
Yeah.
in last 18 years. They've been playing cricket. I have been following their the progress from the beginning, from day one.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that Bangladesh could not register the win today.
Yeah. Oh, okay, let's look at the stats now as we
This
speak
has
now.
probably one of the most roller coaster
Okay,
points table.
New Zealand is at the top. 6 points, run rate of 1.283, and now India is number 2 at with 4 points, but our run rate is minus 0.54.
What is? Go ahead. I'll let you finish, and I'll
Okay,
say.
and of course Pakistan is going to be playing Australia.
Correct.
2 days from now.
Correct.
So I think if you look at Group 2, of course Bangladesh is out because they lost 3 out of 3 games. So the remaining 3 teams that are left here, India, Pakistan, and Australia. Okay, let's look at it. The game between Pakistan and Australia, somebody has to lose it.
Right.
So whoever loses it will be still 2 points.
See, right now the way this is, it's set up by Pakistan and Australia. I'm playing on the 25th.
25th.
25th,
Yes.
That's when they're playing. The way this scenario is set up now, as you mentioned earlier, New Zealand with 6 points,
Yeah.
India with 4, and Pakistan, Australia, and Bangladesh each. Well, Bangladesh doesn't have a point, but Pakistan and Australia
2
each have 2. It's going to be very, very crucial now if Pakistan, if Australia were to win tomorrow,
Yes.
they're also with 4 points.
Yes.
Even though Pakistan has a healthy net run rate,
Yeah.
Pakistan is going to be virtually out of the scenario
Yes.
because they don't have enough points.
Yes.
If Pakistan were to win, if they were to defeat Australia,
Yeah.
Pakistan has a very good chance because of the net run rate.
That's right. Yes.
Now it's up to India. If India has to defeat Australia, not only defeat Australia, but they have to defeat them with a healthy net run rate, because it's going to
but
boil
you're
down
going
to
to get
that.
6 points, though.
Well, yes.
So
Again,
I mean,
I'm breaking it down for you from when you asked about a net run rate.
Yeah.
But at this point, going forward,
Yeah.
if India were to win against Australia, and India qualifies anyway.
Qualifies for the semi-finals.
Absolutely.
So are they going to play the opposing group, or are they going to be this?
No, semifinals will be played within the
Same
groups, same group,
They should have played opposing members.
and then they go play the finals.
So let's look at it this way: if Pakistan were to win
Right.
Australia.
Right. They
Then
move up the
Pakistan
order.
will be 2 points.
Well, the 4 points.
4 points, I'm
Correct.
sorry. And Australia will be 2 points.
Correct.
The only way Australia can come back is to beat India. Even then, they're not going to get
No.
anywhere because Pakistan
See,
is going to
here's
do by
where it gets interesting. But if Pakistan wins tomorrow, they already have a
run
net run rate, which is in positive,
positive.
right?
So they're going to,
0.25. So they get ahead of India, even though the points are same.
that's right,
But net run rate is higher. So Pakistan has they are in the driver's seat of qualifying it for the semifinals if they defeat Australia. Right.
So the bottom line is Pakistan has to beat Australia.
Pakistan has to beat Australia.
There's no other option.
There's no other option. And again, I'm going to keep going back to the net run rate because they have such a good healthy net run rate. It's even more important for them to beat Australia.
So this is very interesting. I'm just focusing on our group 2 right now.
Well, group 1 is a different story altogether. If you look at the group 1, right? West Indies and England they each share points, 4 points each. South Africa, Sri Lanka, 2 points each. Afghanistan, I'll tell you what, Nick, they have played their hearts out. Afghanistan,
yes.
They just gave, they've been giving teams run for their money.
Oh yeah, I saw that game against England.
Yes.
I think it was quite impressive.
If it wasn't for Moeen Ali, Afghanistan had already taken that game away from England.
Okay, let's talk about now. India has to face Australia.
Sure.
I mean that's our next stop, and before that we'll see what happens between Pakistan and Australia. So that might give some clue. And if you look at how well Australia played against Bangladesh, that should give us some idea as to what to expect from Australia.
Well, let me just backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
Even against Bangladesh, they were lucky to have that win. Bangladesh were really good in that match also.
Yeah.
Australian team is under construction, I would say that still. India has played T20.
Why did the Australian team change so much between the World Cup and T20s?
I'll give you an answer for that also. Mitchell Johnson, the key player.
Oh, they still have
retired.
AB de Villiers and...
AB de Villiers is South Africa.
Oh, I'm sorry.
AB de Villiers is South. You see with Australia...
Yeah, Smith
batting
is like a non-stop
Smith is struggling.
Yeah.
But the weaker link for Australia is their bowling right now.
What happened to Smith? I mean, he was doing excellent in 50 overs, and
it's a graph, right? What goes up has to come down.
Oh.
Steve Smith is going through that, but he's a very good batsman. It will not take him that long to snap out of the form that he is in right now.
I think that's what happened when I started watching Kohli in the World Series.
Right.
He was like on the downslide, and
right.
Then, however, in the T20s,
what worries me more? What worries me? In fact, my key player for Australia is Usman Khawaja.
Yes.
Usman Khawaja. He's at
58 against
Bangladesh. Touch now.
Yeah.
He along with and I don't expect David Warner to come and open with him. I think Shane Watson is going to come open. Shane Watson, as we all know, is a very devastating opener as well. With the combination of Khawaja and Watson.
But don't we also need a very strong backup from Indian bowlers? Because if I watched the game today, I was not getting the confidence that we can get. Stop this hard-hitting opening batsman.
One off day, I would not write them off. If you look into, if you look at the first match against New Zealand, India restricted them to 128 or so runs. Pakistan, they restricted them at 118, right? So the Indian bowlers are doing a decent job. Maybe a one-off day at the office today, but overall, it's a consistent performance by the Indian bowlers.
But I felt like Bangladesh, they were never under threat.
They were never under threat. I agree.
Throughout the entire innings, every batsman, they just came and played their batting.
The way
they were never. Of course,
you don't drop somebody like Tamim Iqbal. You do not drop him. You see, Nehra dropped him first.
Yeah.
And then Bumrah dropped him.
Okay, let me tell you about Bumrah. I think when things are going wrong, the best ball is a Yorker. Because you can cut down the.
That's his bread and butter.
That's what actually saved India from a defeat.
Bumrah's
of
bread and butter
Yorkers.
is his Yorkers.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned last show also, that India has finally found an answer for someone who can consistently bowl Yorkers.
That is very important, because when you're going to 15, 20
Right.
runs and over, you need at least 2-3 dot balls.
Nick, you played cricket in your days, so you know it
That's
very well,
really-
right? You know
yeah.
very well how important is it. I mean, it's very difficult for a bowler to consistently bowl Yorkers.
Well, I grew up in the days when Not Kearney used to bowl
Ah.
maiden over
Maiden
after
over,
maiden
right,
over
right,
after
right.
maiden over. He'll be like 20 maiden overs in
Right.
innings. He
So-
was so accurate.
Bangladesh, as I mentioned earlier to you, that in every department Bangladesh excelled. It is very unfortunate from the Bangladeshi team perspective
Yeah.
that had lost today.
That's right.
But listen,
But it was also an eye opener for Indian team to understand that what are the balls that are working. Like, remember we talked about,
Right.
maybe go back and see when Bumrah was bowling. I think the only time I felt safe was when he was putting Yorkers.
what is mind-boggling is Yuvraj not bowling. Now, I don't know if there is an issue with him he's not confident enough to bowl, but I was a little surprised that Dhoni did not utilize Raina and Yuvraj to an extent, and especially where the track was turning.
Yeah.
I would have expected him to use both these bowlers, but again, Dhoni stuck with Pandya.
See, they didn't hit many big shots, like fours
No.
and sixes and all this, but they had to chase only like 7 runs over or something. So
And as I said earlier, they played stupendously. The last delivery was the magical one, but overall, in every department, I'm going to repeat myself that Bangladesh excelled.
okay, let's talk about what's the strategy going to be against Australia.
Different mindset and different. Now again, let's look at the venues. Now you're going from Bengaluru to Mohali.
Mhm.
Okay, the pitches are different.
Yeah.
So it's more of a greenish track than what we just saw today in Bangalore or Bengaluru, whichever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So that is going to be one factor. Second thing is India is coming with 2 back-to-back wins
Yeah.
against their arch rivals Pakistan and now against Bangladesh. Psychologically, I don't see any impact in any of it. Australia is under pressure.
But you need technique. You need consistency, and you need Yorkers.
Now here's my take.
Psychology helps.
Here's my take.
Psychology works. But remember, after being devastatingly beaten by New Zealand, I mean, they bounced back to beat Pakistan. But now you really have no choice. You have to beat Australia to be alive.
Now here's what I'm just pulling out some stats for you from the last match that was played, New Zealand versus Pakistan at Mohali.
Yes.
Okay, 180 New Zealand scored.
Yeah.
So you know that this is a high scoring pitch.
Yeah.
It's a high scoring pitch, and on both the sides, they're capable of reaching that. And Pakistan almost got there. They made 160, 158.
So you're talking almost 10 runs now.
Almost 10 runs and over.
Yeah.
You need that for Mohali. Indian batsmen really have to, unless the Indian bowlers do their magic again, what they did against New Zealand.
So if you are Dhoni and you won the toss, what would you do?
I would opt to bat.
Bet?
I would opt to bat again. I know Indians are good chasers. Even today, Dhoni said that he would have preferred to bowl if he hadn't.
That means you had to put up at least 180 runs on the board to have any chance.
Absolutely right. And Dhoni would probably have a little bit more confidence in his bowlers because they have been performing consistently. I would definitely opt out to bat if we were to win the toss and have Australia chase, put them under pressure.
What is the purpose of throwing a full toss?
I don't believe they were throwing it intentionally on a technical aspect. I'm telling you, it is more to do with the way the bowler is controlling it. Now, the full tosses that you're referring to, they were supposed to have been Yorkers.
Yorkers
gone wrong.
Slower balls so that they
misjudge
and hit
they
into a
misjudge
fielder.
exactly. Later on in the innings, it's very important to have that control.
Yeah.
I don't think intentionally anybody was really throwing full tosses, but those were the Yorkers going terribly wrong.
I thought the bowlers did a very good job when they were playing against Pakistan. I could see the ball turn extremely well, and
Now, again, you and I had discussed night before that
That's right.
we had a live telecast. It had rain, as we talked
know.
about it, right? So what happened was the covers were on the pitch.
That's right. Yeah.
In Kolkata's heat and humidity. So what happened was even the covers were sweating. So what happened is, and as I mentioned to you about the soil also, so the wicket had become more damp, and the ball was gripping on that surface. That is not going to be the case in Mohali. Mohali is a different animal altogether. I would really expect India and Australia to do well. Australia with Kuldeep, he's in a great form right now, and somebody to watch out for. He's a very good bowler, very intelligent bowler, and India will have to do some good work in negotiating some of the even Adam Zampa. He's their spinner. Faulkner, all these guys.
What about Shane Watson?
You can never write him off.
Yeah,
Shane Watson he's a very good all-rounder. You can never write him off, and even Steve Smith can roll up his sleeves.
But if you say if it's a fast pitch where it favors batsmen, it also favors pace bowlers.
It favors pace bowlers, but again, I'm going to remind you that T20 is such a format that it is still dominated by the batsmen.
Yeah,
and so the bowlers will have to be very careful, and that is why I'm rating Indian bowlers a little bit slightly ahead of the Australian bowlers, because Indian bowlers have more of a variety. For example, if you look into Ashish Nehra, he's a pretty seasoned campaigner. He'll adjust it well, and he's played on those pitches a many more matches than Nile has. Now, let's give them a benefit of the doubt also, because most of these Australian fast bowlers, they also play IPL.
Yeah.
For example, Glenn Maxwell, he played for Punjab. The home ground is Mohali, so he knows the pitch really well. Control, and control. A flick can take the ball over the boundary.
So when you're talking 180 runs, I mean, you have to get it in the top 5 to 6 batsmen. It's
Shikhar Dhawan and Sharma, they have to fire. There's nobody.
That's what I'm saying. Each one of them had to at least score 30 points or 40 points.
Both of them haven't scored this series, so they're really due for that.
I mean, before you go for a coffee break or a beer break, when you come back, Kohli's already on the crease.
Kohli's there, and that has been the problem. Kohli has been rescuing India.
Yeah.
Today, Raina finally, he played some shots, but it is very important, and I think that's what Team Australia will be targeting. They know that Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma haven't been successful. Now, I don't want to go too much into the past.
Yeah.
Very recently concluded series in Australia, where both Sharma and Dhawan have done exceptionally well in Australian conditions. But yes, these two guys will be targeted, and as I'm going to stick to my point again, Suresh Raina.
Yeah.
Suresh Raina will again be targeted.
Well, we are going to need a lot of effort from the batsmen if they want to score 180 runs. I mean, that's not an easy target.
Going back to Usman Khawaja and Shane Watson, if you do not take their wickets in first 4 overs, first 3 overs, these two can take the match away from Indians in no time. They're both destructive. Khawaja is a phenomenal batsman. I don't know if you had a chance to watch him play.
I saw him, when he played against Bangladesh. I mean, he was just going on.
He's a fearless opener.
Yeah, he just hits everything.
I think this is going to be a good contest. I really feel so.
What is your prediction going to be?
My prediction for this one, again and again, I'm giving this team a little bit of a slight edge, is India. And again, I'm going to go with the bowling of India. This is where the Indians have a slight advantage over Australia, because India has a little bit of variety in bowling. For example, with addition of Bumrah, Jadeja doing so well, Ashwin is a star bowler. A lot of batsmen are having a difficult time.
But if you want your bowlers to create havoc, like Dhoni did with Pakistan, why wouldn't you go and just field first?
In Mohali, I would still bat first because of the pitch and put Australians under pressure, because Australians know on the back of their minds that India has a very strong bowling attack, very a diverse attack, I should say that.
I would say if India had lost against Pakistan, Dhoni would have
We
been
wouldn't be
criticized.
talking right now.
Huh?
We wouldn't be talking right now.
No, Dhoni would have been criticized
Even
all
Dhoni,
over.
Okay, somebody just sent me a clip just before I was coming here about a press conference where Dhoni was asked about from a journalist, and Dhoni got sort of agitated. He said, "कि आपको खुशी नहीं हो रही क्या इंडिया जीती है?"
I know.
He goes, "मैच का कोई स्क्रिप्ट नहीं होता है.
Yeah.
It's not scripted, right?
You just on the spot decision.
You're on the spot decisions." And
I'm sure they would have, thought about this. Okay, if I win the toss, what do? They would have discussed with the team and say, okay, if you lose the toss, how do we approach?
Nick, I have been commentating for last almost 12, 13 years. I have been an analyst, and it's very easy to do analysis.
I know.
After the fact. And even we're in the commentary box, right? In the commentary box, we're commentating. The ball game looks very different from where we're sitting. So it's easy for us to comment because after the fact has already happened.
They call it a Monday morning
quarterback. Exactly.
All these commentators. Exactly. But the beauty of it is when the last ball was bowled, even the fielders didn't know what happened with the Bangladesh.
I think that was an epic.
Except Dhoni. I mean, of course,
even Dhoni wasn't sure. Even Dhoni.
That's why I said he stumped, but he had to wait for the TV to review to.
So let me ask you something. You've been watching all the matches. What is your take on umpiring so far?
Umpiring, I think there have been a couple of calls that have been called, not out, but clearly the trajectory of the ball and being within the stumps and going right, hitting the stumps. I think there are a couple of times it has been missed.
In my opinion, I think the umpiring has been good. They have been doing extremely good job. Those kind of decisions, they can go either way. I mean, the umpires don't have the liberty as we do in the commentary box.
This trajectory, I don't know how accurate it is. When they say the ball is falling here, and at what
plus minus,
height.
you have to keep that in mind. Again, these are computerized images.
I know, but they say the ball was between leg stump and middle stump.
Oh no.
Below the bails. I said, and it was not given out. One instance, I don't remember which particular match.
See what you're talking about, and again, same thing what I was saying a few minutes earlier.
Yeah.
That we have the technology in the commentary box that we can see. We have the technology there. It has already happened. We can see the Hawkeye and hotspot and everything, and we can tell. But umpires there, they do not have that technology. They have to make.
But surprisingly, we didn't have too many extremely.
Umpiring has been very decent.
Hardly I have ever seen where the fielders have been extremely upset with the decision.
It's listen, a batsman is never happy if it's given out LBW. Fielders, bowlers are never happy.
Have never asked for a replay from all the games I have seen.
Well, here's the thing: the DRS is not in play, so you can take that away. The on-field umpires have the capability. They don't review the LBWs, but runouts they do, stumpings they do. They can also check for the no balls if they feel that they were not too sure. Another thing they check for is the no balls if it's above the waist.
Yeah, the waist.
So those are the things they can check.
That's another area where I think. I feel like the ball is above the waist because the batsman is hitting it's above his belt. I would think it would be above the waist, but some of them are not called as wide.
Just another day, I think I was matching a game just other day, Pakistan versus New Zealand, where I felt that the delivery that was bowled to Sarfaraz Ahmed was way above the waist, and that should have been a no ball and a free hit. Nigel Long, the umpire, square leg umpire, didn't think that. On the other hand, when we saw the replays, it clearly showed.
I know. Like one of them, it was almost his chest level.
Yes.
And he pulls his bat and then he swings.
Sarfaraz was very unlucky. He was very unlucky not to be given that a no ball. He was very unlucky. But I think overall they've been doing a great job. The decisions they're making, you have to give them some credit for that.
Amit, I think it's been an exciting day today, I should say, because like the last over, I had no hopes that you will have any chance.
Let me make a confession today. when there were 3 deliveries left,
Yeah.
I had already drafted a text to you saying that, Nick, do you really want me to come in
I know,
today?
that's the way I felt.
And
what are we going to
I
talk
did not
about?
hit the send button, and I was like, okay, let me see what happens, and then I had to delete that.
Yeah. So I mean, 3 outs in the last 3 balls of a T20. That may be another
just to do a recap for those of
Yeah.
those of us who are just joining us now. I think India and Bangladesh today. India batting first, they scored 146. Bangladesh in reply scored 144. The last over, 11 runs were needed. The last 3 deliveries, 3 wickets were taken.
That's right. Yeah.
Hardik Pandya was the bowler. Mushfiqur Rahim, Mahmudullah, and the last run out, 3 wickets were taken. There was an absolute stunner of a catch taken by Jadeja. That changed the game completely.
I think so, because I think in the first 3 balls he hit 2 fours.
2 balls remaining. Jadeja takes a stunner, and I think that really changed the match. And then there was a big conference in the middle.
I know.
Everybody was coming in.
So with that,
all in all, it was great.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, the standing of the teams in Group 2 is New Zealand 6 points and India 4 points. Pakistan, which will be playing Australia, has 2 points, and again Australia also has 2 points. And Bangladesh, having played 3 games, has 0 points at this time. I think another crucial game will be 2 days from now. That is between Pakistan and Australia, and that's going to determine as to who has a better chance of like
Indian fan would be hoping,
India.
Indian fans would be praying that Australia defeats Pakistan because of the net run rate. Should Pakistan were to win, then Pakistan definitely has sealed the spot. India will probably have a very difficult time unless they go after Australia with a very, very healthy net run rate, which I really doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah, but if you win against Australia, doesn't the points automatically put you? I mean, if Pakistan were to lose, so even if they win, that's 4 points versus 6 points.
4 points again. Here's the thing. I mean, with points, India probably will edge.
Yes.
But I would still, as a fan, I would still want Australia to defeat Pakistan to be at that, going into the game. As from the Indian camp perspective, not me as an individual, but I'm talking about from the Indian camp. Dhoni and team.
Pakistan run rate is now 0.2.
I think it's still a healthy net run rate. Look at India's net run rate; it's a negative
0.546.
546.
Yeah. Well, I think time will tell us. Just like the game today.
Let's forget about predict. Let's forget about the NRR, the net run rate. Let's forget about that. Let's forget about the points. Let's concentrate on the match that is happening on Friday, Pakistan versus Australia. And if MS Dhoni's team, they would be praying that Pakistan were to lose this match.
So if you're the Indian team, would you go to the game and watch every ball and replay every ball after that?
Well, as I mentioned to you earlier, like last week we were discussing, last Friday we were talking about it, that in today's day and age, every delivery is being analyzed, every delivery is being talked about. So definitely match that will be played on Friday, Australia versus Pakistan, it will be discussed in the team meeting. They'll do a SWOT analysis as to how each person performed.
That's right. Amit, let's meet again.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully that will be when we can talk about semi-finals.
Absolutely, indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Triple N Talk Show. I'm Dr. Nick NIKAM, and we'll be back next week. And have a wonderful evening. Thank you.